Hey, so good morning. Coming to you live from 227 Colfax. Shout out to all my peeps on the Dunwoody side. I'm going to try to get us through some Archicad stuff, so I'm revving it up right now. Here is our PDF of the Forsyth residence. I'm going to make sure I can do the view thing on this, rotate it clockwise so I can actually see what's going on. There we go. I'm going to go to that main level plan and start there. So we've got our Archicad. When we start Archicad, we get this window and we can create a new project from a template, and I can go here and browse for a template, and I'll go into my Archicad template folder that my instructor so graciously gave me because he's such a nice guy. And then we select that and do new. And when you start with a TPL file, template file in Archicad, the first time you save it, it'll ask you to save it as a new file name, so then we can save it off that way. And then you obviously don't ever save over the top of your template file, which is very nice. So I'm going to try to go through walls, slab, roof, doors, windows, and see if I can get us that far. See if I can get us to the point where we have the basic outline of these elevations, the basic window openings and door openings and that kind of stuff. Okay, so we've got something with a duplicate, but I don't really care about that. Okay, so here we go. We start with, I'm going to start with a slab this time, and I'm going to look at, so here's my slab tool under design, and I'm going to look at the main level plan and see if I can't get some overall. So there's a 44.6, there's a 12 foot, a 4.6, and a 12 foot, so that would be 28.6. And then there's also an 8 by 12 bump out, and that actually might be 8 by 12.6, judging by how that dimension line lines up with the wall, so we'll do it that way. So I go over here, and I'm on this form of geometry, which is the polygonal, it's a nice word. And then I want to make sure I've got the settings right for this, so I can click here to make sure I got the settings. And the slab on the first floor we'll assume is a 16-inch floor truss with 3/4 inch plywood on top, and we'll set it at 0, right? Because we'll set the project 0 at the top of the main level subfloor. At the top of this floor will be the 0. And then I'll go over 44 feet 6 inches, and then I'll come down, what did we say, 28 6 inches. And then here I can hold down my shift key and align with that to get that point. And then I'm going to go another 8 feet, and then I'm going to go 12 foot 6. And then I'm doing a shift key again to align it back to that point, and there's my slab. So now I want to center this guy on the page, so I'm going to select it. I can hold down, with the tool active, you can hold down the shift key to get the selector tool, otherwise you can just go to the selector tool, whichever way you want to do it. And there are two ways of using the selector tool, with or without the magnet. The magnet will pick up an object even when you're sort of floating inside of it. Without it, you have to actually click on an edge to get it. So it's whatever, it doesn't matter to me. So then if I hover over this side, I'll get a midpoint there. So I'm going to go Control D, hover over, click on that midpoint, and align it, holding down the shift key, and align it to that point. I'm going to drag again from that, and there I'm centered. So now I'm going to do walls. That's my slab, that's it. So now I do walls, and the walls are always going to be, well, on the main level, if I look at the section, they are 9 feet. So what we know about a 9-foot wall is that it's actually 9 foot 1 1/8. So I'm going to go into my wall tools here and set this at 9 foot 1 1/8 inch. Notice the dash and the space. It's a good way to do it. And the width of that wall is going to be 6 inches. I think we all know that from construction. The way they built this is actually thicker, but for now we'll say 6 inches. So now what I can do is, if I just hover my mouse over the edge of this till I get that little trident, or Mercedes-Benz without the circle, I don't know what you want to call that, wishbone, peace sign, I don't know. You go over and you hold down the space bar, you'll get this magic wand. And you can see the magic wand icon also change when you get to an edge. And once that icon changes like that, I can click, and there's my wall. It goes right around the whole slab. What I might have to do is make sure that the wall is inside the slab, which right now I don't think it is. Nope. So what I'm going to do is select the wall. And what you can see what happened is it selected one wall, but I've got this sort of yellowish circle at the corner. And I want it to select all the walls. So what I can do is I can do Alt-G, and Alt-G allows me to select everything in a group. If I select Alt-G again, if I hit Alt-G again, then I can select the single thing in the group. So it's a way of toggling between how you select groups using Alt-G. Select all those, then I can just flip it right here. I can flip the reference line, and now I'm all set. That's it. So that's the first floor. One of the things I want to check at this point is my story settings to make sure that the story settings are correct. So I'm going to go to Control 7 and look at my story settings. So main level to the upper level with a 16-inch floor truss, 9'1" 1/8" wall, 3/4 inch ply. That should be 10.5 1/8. The upper floor plan to the roof plan is a little bit less of a concern because there isn't a third floors, but we'll just leave that at 10.5 7/8 as well. The lower floor plan we might want to adjust. That would be 8'8" minus the 4-inch slab plus the 1.5" plate at the top of the concrete wall plus 16 3/4. A little tricky, but it should work out to be 9, 10 1/8. So these should be right. And you can see it's taken me to the lower level. If I want to go back to the main level, I can go over to this guy right here, the view map. Stay out of this one as much as humanly possible. The project map doesn't hold layer information when you switch between views, so you want to always be in the view map to make sure you're looking at the architectural plans. So I'm going to go to the main level. Let's do the upper level, the second level plan next. So if I look at second level plan, there we go. So that also has the 44.6, the 12.6 is there, but then it comes in 6 feet and out 10 feet. So what I'm going to do actually, which you can see what I can do, whoops, I want to get back to that upper level plan. There. What I want to do here is, with my mouse wheel and zooming in, is I'm going to hold down the Alt key, which gives me the pick tool. And you can see when it fills up, when I get over something, and it's telling me that I'm over a wall. That's the wall up below me, right? Because my reference, I can choose a reference below current story, and I can pick that wall. So now I've got the same wall on the upper floor. I can also go down here and pick those walls too. They're all down here, which is why those walls are really modeled on the main level, so that we can have them as a reference level. The basement level, they're different walls, so they're different. So I can do that, and I can do my little trident. I can do the magic wand again if I want, and it'll do the walls again, but I want to do them a little differently, so I'm going to Control Z that. I'm going to go to here and come down 12.6. Then I'm going to come in 6, down 10, and then over 34.6, up 10, over 4, and up 12.6. So they're my upper level walls. So I want to do the slab. So I did this a little bit in reverse, but the slab is going to be the same, right? Because now it's going to be referenced by the upper floor plan. So it's still going to be at 0 and 1'4" 3/4 because we're framing it the same way. So I'm going to say OK. And then I'm going to hover over the edge of the wall, and I can do the magic wand again. And now it's created the slab. So now we should be able to see some things in 3D. Got something going on. I can click on this little guy right here, which lets me explore like a video game. I can move around and use my mouse to strafe or whatever I want to do. And the arrow keys, you hold down the shift key with with an arrow key, and that's essentially running versus walking. But there I am. There's the start. So then if I want to do the basement, now the way I can navigate up and down floors is I can go Shift F2 to go up a floor, Control F2 to go down. So I want to go down the basement, so I'm going to Control F2, F2. Control F2, Control F2. And now I can't see anything, and I want to make sure it lines up, so I go to choose Reference above current story. Now I can see that. But I want to do a different wall type, so I want to do this foundation wall type, which is this one. So I can go down here, and I can use my pick tool like that to make sure it's the right height. Yep, 8.5 and a half looks good. And then I want to look at this basement plan and make sure I'm doing this right. So it looks like I've got 44.6 going this way, and you can see what's happened right here. As I've started a wall and it's on the wrong side, instead of canceling out of it while it's active, I can flip it. So now I'm doing it right. So this is 44.6, which should snap there. Yep, 44.6. This goes all the way up here. This guy comes over. What does he come over? 44.6 minus 25, which would be, wait for it, I can do math. I know I can do this. 19 foot 6 inches. 19.6. That right? Is that 25 feet? Oh, look how smart I am. Then I come down 12 feet, because that's what that dimension is right there. And then I come over 25 feet and down. So now I want to do a different wall type for here that doesn't have this extra wall on the inside. So this is a concrete wall with a stud wall on the inside, so it's finished, a finished basement. But this is unexcavated. This is above a garage. So there's no basement, obviously, underneath this garage. You can do a basement under a garage, but it's very expensive. So I'm going to Alt-click that wall, but then I'm going to change the type of wall it is, and I can do that right up here. So I'm going to do it in the wall settings, and I'm going to change this from a composite to a basic. I'll change the fill to be the structural concrete. This one you can tell is the one that doesn't have a colored fill. And I'm going to make it 8 inches thick instead of 12. And then I'm going to draw that wall right there. And you can see when I want to stop a wall, if I hit escape, everybody's done this, right? Escape, oh, my wall's gone. So what I can do is go to the end and just click that last spot one more time, and then it's done. And you can see what Archicad does. It's very smart, and it tells you, oh, this is concrete, this is concrete, so there's no line there. So that's that. So now let's do roof in the next video. I'm going to pause this one and do number 2.